What if I told you that the feeling of running out of time has nothing to do with time and everything to do with how you were taught to measure your own worth? You wake up and your first thought isn't peace, it's panic. Another day has passed, another week has flown by. How quickly time flies. If you're already over 35, time is flying by even faster for you. You're another year closer to that deadline you can't quite name, but always feel. You look at your life, and instead of seeing what you've built, you see what you haven't become yet. You start fighting with your regrets. The clock is always ticking, and you're always behind. You always feel like something is missing, like things are incomplete. There's a name for this feeling. It's called time anxiety. And it's not about time at all. It's about value. At some point along the way, you learned that your value is measured by your results, your successes, your progress. And if you're not constantly moving forward, you live with the feeling that you're falling behind. If you're not producing, you feel like you're wasting your time. Your environment and the system influence you to believe you're failing. This isn't real, it's programming, and it kills your ability to exist in your own life. It wants you to fight against the real you inside. Welcome to 5-Minute Psychology. In the next 5 minutes, you'll learn a powerful psychological idea that can change the way you think. Love psychology? Subscribe for more. Now let's continue. The psychology of time anxiety begins with a distorted relationship between time and self-worth. In childhood, you may have received love and approval based on what you accomplished: good grades, good behavior, visible progress. You learned that rest was laziness, that stillness was suspicious, that your right to exist had to be constantly earned through doing. Now, decades later, you carry an internal stopwatch that never stops ticking. Every moment becomes an evaluation. Every hour is either invested or wasted, and the voice in your head constantly asks, "What did you do today that justified your existence?" This is exhausting. And it's based on a lie. The lie is that time is running out. But running out for what? You've created an imaginary deadline or a date by which you should have achieved certain things, become a certain person, reached a certain goal. You've coded this situation as if it were an expiration date. Everything that comes after is now trash. But who set this deadline? Not reality. You did, based on comparisons, expectations, and a culture that views people as products with expiration dates. The truth is, there is no universal timeline for human life. The right time definitely exists, but you cannot determine it. There is no specific age for getting married, becoming successful, enlightened, or complete. These are not natural laws, but fabricated pressures, yet they take over your nervous system and make you feel every birthday like a verdict. Another layer of time anxiety is the awareness of mortality. Not as a philosophical concept, but as a felt pressure. You know that life is finite. And this knowledge, instead of liberating you to live fully, paralyzes you with the fear of wasting the limited time you have. The irony is brutal. The fear of wasting time becomes the thing that wastes your time. You are so busy worrying about the clock that you forget to live the moments the clock is measuring. There is also the comparison trap. Social media shows you curated timelines of other people's achievements, making you feel like everyone else is ahead. At 25, someone has built an empire. At 30, someone has found their purpose. At 40, someone has it all figured out. But you are only seeing their highlights, never their hidden struggles, their private doubts, their years of confusion. You are comparing your behind the scenes to their final cut. The feeling that time is running out also hides a deeper fear, the fear of having already missed the opportunity, the fear that the window has closed, the fear that the best years are behind you and only the aftermath remains. This belief is toxic because it causes you to abandon the present in sorrow for an unchangeable past. But who can tell you that tomorrow won't be better than yesterday? Time anxiety never tells you this. You are not behind. You cannot fall behind in a race with no fixed route. Your life is not a checklist to be completed before some imaginary deadline. It is an experience to be lived however it comes to you, at whatever pace, in whatever direction feels true. The antidote to time anxiety is not to move faster, it is questioning the premise. Who said you should be further along by now? Who decided that your value depends on your speed? What if the feeling that time is running out is not a sign to hurry, but a sign to stop and see what you are actually running towards? Perhaps towards something much better. You are not running out of time, you are running out of presence. And the only way back is to stop, breathe, and remember that this moment right now is not a means to an end. It is the end. It is your life happening.